The Four Horsemen of Apocalypse, first mentioned in chapter 87 by Makima herself. Makima states how Pochita fought against the weapon devils and also the Four Horsemen while in hell. She says that she was there to witness this great battle, but right in the middle of the fight, Pochita apparently disappeared before her eyes. No one could find Pochita even after endless searching. She said that Pochita was in a near-death state and had transformed beyond recognition. But how did Pochita suddenly disappear from this once-in-a-lifetime battle? Well, that's a question for another day, because today we are gonna talk about the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse. I feel like to understand the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse in the world of Chainsawman, we must first understand the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse in our world. The Four Horsemen of Apocalypse are mentioned in a series of books written within the Christian mythology. So basically, the Four Horsemen are the manifestation of events that together bring in chaos or apocalypse and then take away peace. We have seen many devils in Chainsawman, many strong devils, but out of all the devils there are, these are the most devastating for the whole of humanity. In the original mythology, the Four Horsemen are the Horsemen of Conquest, the Horsemen of War, the Horsemen of Famine, and the Horsemen of Death. So we will be going over all of the horsemen one by one. If we look at the horsemen mentioned in the Christian mythology, we see that they are based on the concepts of conquest, war, famine, and death. But did you know that the Four Horsemen were actually name dropped in Chainsawman by none other than Makima herself? In chapter 84, we see Makima's plan in which she intends to make Denji eat the devils that possess the name of death, war, and hunger. Now these three devils, as mentioned in the Christian mythology, are part of the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse. Now Makima missed one horseman, and that is the Horseman of Conquest. Now is there a reason why she missed it? Well, apparently there is. If you know anything about the Japanese language, which I doubt you do, the Japanese name for the Conquest Horseman is the same as the Japanese name for domination or control. And as you guessed it, it is Makima herself. Now how can I be so sure that Makima is one of the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse? This can just very well be a coincidence, right? Well, I don't think so. We have a lot of evidence pointing towards the fact that she is, in fact, the Horseman of Conquest. Firstly, she was present in the battle of Pochita and the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse. Now, yeah, Makima definitely likes Pochita. She might probably be roaming around Pochita in hell too. But just the fact that Makima being at the right place at the right time so conveniently in the battle against Pochita and the Four Horsemen is kind of sus to me. If you remember the fight between Makima and the Darkness Devil, Makima actually puts up a decent fight against it. For as far as we know, no regular devil is able to go toe to toe against a primordial devil other than another primordial devil or someone that is of a higher caliber, such as one of the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse. Now just because Makima is a horseman doesn't mean that she is stronger than every single devil out there. I will get in more depth with this topic later in the video. Moving on, the word conquest can be used as a political term which directly means overthrowing or conquering. And Makima was used by political parties in literal political wars. In addition to that, Makima's all-time dream, as explained to us by Pochita, was to maintain equal relationships with people such as a family. And that is something political parties find extremely difficult, which is maintaining equal relationships. Makima is most likely to be the potential Horseman of Conquest, but why is she plotting something against her fellow horsemen? Also, Makima has a lot of enemies in hell. That is the reason why she got reincarnated as Nayuta so quickly, because her enemies in hell killed her as soon as they found her. Well, at least according to Kishibe, this was the case. To truly understand why Makima did what she did, I feel like we must first actually wait for some sort of a backstory, whether it's a backstory for Makima herself or a backstory where we find out more about the great battle in hell which Pochita fought in. In the whole of part 1, we only see one of the Four Horsemen. Since the horsemen are so powerful, they usually don't die, hence coming to Earth. And for all we know, the control level of the Horsemen of Conquest might have killed themselves to reincarnate on Earth as Makima just to find Pochita. Now think about it, why is Makima so obsessed with dogs? Now, as we already know, the last time Makima saw Pochita was transformed beyond recognition. So Pochita might have been the infamous Chainsaw Devil, and Pochita might have transformed into a Chainsaw Dog, and that's how we remember Pochita, as a dog. So hence Makima came to Earth and was probably finding Pochita. To find Pochita, she was collecting dogs probably, and then she developed a weird obsession of dogs, and hence she started having a lot of dogs in her house for some reason. Yeah, that could be the case. But other than conquest, we have war, hunger, and death. Now the thing with these four horsemen is that I feel like they have a certain order of strength to them. Like one might be more powerful than the other. Like people are not actually afraid of hunger, they are afraid of the death that comes off of hunger. Same goes for war. And I feel like out of all of the four horsemen, the Horseman of Conquest is in fact the weakest horseman. Followed by hunger, then war, and finally by death. Now death, being the greatest fear of all fears, is likely to be the strongest devil of all time. Seeing how we just got one of the four horsemen in part 1 and the term Four Horsemen of Apocalypse being mentioned at the end segment of part 1, we are likely to see at least 2 if not 3 horsemen in the next part. Why, you ask? Well, think about it. In the next part, we are going to see Denji go to hell to save Power, the Blood Devil. It will only make sense if we see the Chainsaw Devil's past enemies there, which happen to be none other than the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse. It'll be amazing to see Denji and Pochita go against Pochita's past enemies, and maybe some Weapon Devils and Primordial Devils. It's gonna be crazy if that actually happens. But knowing Fujimoto, we might probably not get that. We'll get something more emotionally brutal. But with that said, we come to the end of this video. I think the Horsemen of Apocalypse and the Primordial Devils are gonna play a huge role, whether it's in part 2, part 3 or part 10. I want to know your guys' thoughts on Makima being the first horseman in the comments section below. Because I feel like she can potentially be the Horseman of Conquest. I mean, it's pretty much likely that she is. Also, I really want to make a similar video to this on the Primordial Devils, because that's a fun topic to talk on. If this video gets 100 likes or maybe 50 likes, I'll make an in-depth video on the Primordial Devils next week. I think that'll be really fun to do. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching this video. Like, share and subscribe for more Chainsawman, and see you guys in the next video. Peace.